So I'm here with Eric Cooper, the CEO of the San Antonio Food Bank. The last time I think you were at Palo Alto College on campus, we were opening up our community garden. And it was a community garden that provides opportunities for us to not only feed our students, but also feed our community. And what's been going on with this pandemic and what we've been seeing in the media and the news, thousands of cars lined up, people really in need with food insecurity, not only in the Southside community, but of course all of San Antonio. And we've seen this globally in the United States and all over the world. And the San Antonio Food Bank has been in the forefront in doing amazing things to help our students and community. And so I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what the San Antonio Food Bank is doing to meet the needs of the community in this food insecurity that's going on right now.
Yeah, well, thank you, Dr. Garza, and thank you for the partnership that we have with Palo Alto. I mean, I think you all have so many model programs and do such a great job of educating students that it's a privilege of ours at the food bank to partner with you. I think that most people, they know the food bank, but they don't really know how we work. So, to really give a perspective, we're one of 200 food banks across America that make up a national organization called Feeding America. So each community has a local food bank. For us, we actually serve 16 counties here in Southwest Texas. And although our name says San Antonio, we serve a large geographical area with lots of counties and cities. And we're privileged to partner with about 500 plus nonprofit partner pantries. Now, oftentimes these are churches, but in the case at Palo Alto, we're working with you guys to have a pantry on site for students. And that really is the front line, if you will, in how families might access food in their community is at one of our local food pantries. But in addition to that, we generally do these pop-up distributions, and the pop-up distributions are in parking lots and are getting a lot of publicity now because it's a great way for us to get food to families following the COVID-19 protocols and making sure that the volunteers are safe along with those recipients of food. But those typical pop-up distributions pre-COVID-19 would serve a couple of hundred families. Now in this COVID-19 environment, we're feeding a couple of thousand families, and at our peak, about 10,000 families at one distribution. And so we're struggling to keep up with that demand and having the supply, but San Antonio, as they do, they step up, and it's been incredible to see our community coming together and enabling us to move from feeding 60,000 people a week pre-COVID to now 120,000 people a week now in the midst of the COVID-19 crisis.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. I mean, really in a very short amount of time to have to amp up and literally increase by 100% from one day to the next. I think that's pretty amazing. And we know that the volunteers for the San Antonio Food Bank and the employees of the San Antonio Food Bank are among the heroes of San Antonio, really working in and day out, trying to help the most vulnerable and the most food insecure here in San Antonio. So we appreciate all the work that you all are doing every day. And so what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that you're having right now as you've had to ramp up from 60,000 to 120,000, and it's become a lot more focused and a very profound lens that people are looking through, and they're seeing, and they're looking for those places of hope, perhaps because they've been furloughed or they've lost their job. And some of the folks that we've been seeing in the media saying, we don't know how we're going to put food on the table, and the San Antonio Food Bank has come in and they provided us with food so that we can feed our families. But we know that there's so much behind the scenes that goes on, and there are challenges that folks don't talk about all the time. And so what are some of the challenges that you all have experienced that perhaps there should be more of an awareness of?
Well, again, thank you, Dr. Garza. I mean, I think all businesses have been impacted by COVID-19, and obviously all residents of our great city. And there's that analogy of it's like changing a flat tire going 55 miles an hour, right? I think all of us have had to rethink kind of HR policies and how you handle, work from home or in the office. Are you essential business? Are you not? And I just want to congratulate Palo Alto College for how you all have pivoted to keep your faculty and team members safe and still educate students and providing an option to complete their curriculum and continue their march towards graduation. And it's the same at the food bank. I mean, we have to keep sight on the goal and the mission at hand to make sure no one goes hungry, even though everything around us under our normal kind of work has changed. And so we've just been continuing to pivot and change and adapt to this new environment. And the realities of San Antonio is that it's a very hardworking, struggling community with a high rate of poverty and many working poor families that live on the edge. And the COVID-19 crisis pushed many of them over the edge. And so it's creating such a demand, and some of the existing programs aren't adequate. And so when you think of our nation's safety net, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, it's a supplemental program that really relies on a recipient to have some earned income, a job. And for many families in our city, they're not working. They were laid off early into the crisis and now are without a paycheck. They're waiting for maybe their unemployment check. Many of them are trying to get through that process. And so their SNAP benefits are really now one of their only resources to get food along with the food bank. And so they might have kids that were getting a National School Lunch Program benefit. And because of the school closures, if they had 2 or 3 kids, that's 2 meals a day, 5 days a week for their 3 kids, that the economics of that now hitting their household puts them in a situation where now they're coming again to get food from the food bank. And so our challenge has been making sure everybody knows about the food bank. We're finding from our data that 50% of who's coming now to get food have never asked for help before. Some of them I see were our volunteers, people that used to serve here at the food bank, helping us with our mission, but never thought that they would be served by our food bank in one of our lines. And so those that have never connected with the food bank or understand how we work, one of the challenges was making sure that they're aware and that they go to our website at safoodbank.org and register to get food. They could also get help with SNAP benefits and applying for federal benefits like Women, Infants, and Children, WIC, or Medicaid, or TANF, Temporary Assistance to Needy Families, or even long-term care for seniors. Or again, this population that might not have access to the internet, and going to our website to inform them of our hotline, which is 210-431-8326. I was about to give my cell number, Dr. Garza. I was like, well, wait a minute, I don't want to give that. But yeah, 210-431-8326. That's our hotline. Or you can go to safoodbank.org, and all the information to get help is available there. And then if you can give help, you can also find links to giving food, time, money, or voice to this great work. But I think as you ask the question, what are the biggest obstacles? It's just really having enough food, getting those that need the food connected to services, and then making sure that everybody gets nourished in this time of crisis.
Well, I appreciate that, Eric. In fact, that was actually, you answered my next question was, folks from the Palo Alto College community or students or employees or folks from the Southside community were looking for help. How did they go about doing that? And I think calling that phone number and reaching out to the SA Food Bank is definitely the route to go. And I'll give you this one final question is, if folks in the Southside community or at Palo Alto College want to help the San Antonio Food Bank, how do they do that? Do they call that number as well and say, hey, we want to volunteer? Or is there another way to go about doing that?
No, absolutely. So thank you. And again, it's really just being mindful of your neighbors, right? Palo Alto has been a great tradition and is really a beacon of hope for the South Side. And I think the food bank aligns in that with our motto of fighting hunger and feeding hope. And so anyone that can raise their voice and look after their neighbor and make sure they're okay, and let them know that if they need help to go to safoodbank.org and to register their need and let us help direct them either to one of our food pantries, one of our pop-up distributions. Let us help them get SNAP, but let us make sure that they get access to food. And just helping families know that in this season of struggle and this trial that we're all going through, it's very appropriate to ask for help. And it's critical that families get nourished and that there shouldn't be any stigma or any feelings like, man, the food bank's struggling to keep up. I don't want to add any more burden. Please allow us that privilege of helping. But people that have resources and want to help out, whether they have some extra time because students are able to manage their online classes now when they want, where they want, and how they want. If they could fit in a volunteer shift at the food bank, we definitely need you in our warehouse and our kitchens and then on the front line distributing food. We want to make sure everybody that comes to volunteer is healthy. So if you have a cold or you're not feeling good, please stay home and get better. If you do come, we have to temperature check you. We want you wearing a appropriate face mask, and then we'll put you in gloves so that we can keep you safe and keep those that we're serving safe. But it is going to take a lot of resources and a lot of funds. And then going back to just sharing in social media, educate your network, if you will, about their opportunity to either get help or give help. And I think together, as we come together in this environment where we're all physically distant and we're using technology to come together, I see our city coming together like I never have, right? It is, I mean, the unprecedented response from our tremendous city in making sure people's needs are met is phenomenal. Food is love, and I think this city of compassion is responding to families in crisis, and it's incredible to see it happen. And you couldn't help but be inspired if you saw what I saw on a daily basis. And so I just want to thank everyone in San Antonio for one, trusting us and supporting us and giving us that opportunity to share their love through food to a family in their time of need.
Well, Eric, I want to say thank you, and I will tell you that the work that you do every single day inspires others. And you said it so greatly. It's about people and caring about them and working with them and helping each other. And that's one of the reasons why San Antonio is the best place to live, is because we do care about each other. And you're exactly right, where folks are really coming together under the leadership of Judge Wolf and Ron Nirenberg, our mayor. They've been doing some phenomenal work and working with folks such as yourself to create this network of superheroes that are really protecting our city and keeping us moving strong. So, Eric, my hat's off to you. Very much appreciate you and all the work that you and the San Antonio Food Bank and employees are doing. We very much appreciate that's our corazon, is San Antonio Food Bank. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thanks, Dr. Garza. And I include you in that Justice League of superheroes that we're all privileged. And it's just taking it takes everyone. to just put on the cape. Cape's optional, but but the face mask is not optional at the moment. So just, let us all continue to lean in and serve and help. And I know we're going to get through this crisis, and our city potentially could be better off because of this kind of unity in solving some of our bigger social strategies and social issues in the months and years to come. Because I think we've all learned from COVID that basic needs have to be met, and just thank you for being a part of that.
Thank you, Eric.